Hey, Stephen Yanni here doing the junkyard crawl at Bernardston Auto Wrecking in Bernardston, Massachusetts with a 1956 up Divco Dividend van. Now, we got to remember that Divco stands for the Detroit Industrial Vehicle Company. It was founded in 1926 and was in operation through 1986 before it declared bankruptcy. But the prime candidates or enemies or competitors really to Divco would have been Metro, Grumman, even Chevrolet and Ford and Dodge step vans. And again, this type of vehicle was commonly used by dairies, newspaper delivery companies, any business that needed to be able to drive the driver, get in and out real fast, get to the next block, make another delivery. But this one's kind of weird. Again, most folks remember the Divco snub-nose van, which came out in 1936. And here's one right here. Now these puppies here are iconic, and everybody remembers these things from bakery use and dairy use, etc. The Divco Twin. If you look at the nose of this thing, you'll actually see Chrysler Airflow styling that was absolutely cribbed by Divco. Now this one here again is the Divco Dividend, which was a subsequent model which came out 20 years later in 1956. Now unlike the snub-nose U-type, the Dividend has a flat face and much more advanced driver forward control. And again, when you put the driver over the front axle, what you then get is a vehicle that can be maneuvered around alleys and in tight spots way better than something with the nose sticking out like on the original Divco. Now the story about Divco is kind of interesting. It was founded again in 1926 by a fellow named George Bacon, who previously worked for a company called the Detroit Electric Vehicle Company, which made electric delivery vehicles for, again, bakeries and things like that. But George Bacon suggested to his boss at Detroit Electric Vehicle, why don't we offer a gas-powered version? Because electric vehicles in the 1920s, as now, have limited ranges and in some cases really bad cold weather performance. Well, George Bacon's boss says, no, we're going to stick with electric. So George Bacon broke away and founded Divco in 1926. And again, Divco strictly gasoline or diesel powered. Now this one is a big one. It's a gasoline powered truck. I can't get inside, it's got car arthritis, but we can see here, of course, that it's liquid cooled. Here's the radiator access to add the coolant. This little chrome deal here opens up, the radiator is inside. And again, these were often powered by Ford inline sixes, Continental, and even Hercules, all kinds of just generic engines. Divco did not make their own engines, but again, Detroit Industrial Vehicle Company, Divco. We come around to the side here, and we'll see that Divco made more than just their own bodies. They even made their own axles. This one's a heavy-duty 5-tonner, and we can see here it has 5 lugs, big studs, but the Divco logo is cast into the bearing cover right there, Divco. So again, Divco, like International, did make their own stuff. Now, leaf springs up front, heavy-duty 5-ton suspension on this thing, and like any self-respecting curb van, the doors don't open outward where they could get sideswiped off in traffic, but rather they pull back into the body so the driver can get in and get out. Now, trouble is, like I say, this one, that's got car arthritis, and this isn't mine, so I'm not going to pry on that and bust on it, but I do like how it has a wraparound type window here for excellent visibility, so there's no blind spots, you know, to get T-boned or hurt anybody in traffic, whatever. So again, not a one-piece hunk of glass. We'll see something on that in the next video to be continued, but here we have this interesting, you know, clear corner with a A-pillar, a fixed A-pillar. Now we go to the back of this one. Now these were available in between 1 and 6 ton capabilities, usually 4 wheels, but this one is a 6 wheel, and again, an add-on steel fender at the back here. This ordinary is a flat face, but when you got the dually rear axle, seen right here, for the 5-ton or 6-ton models, you got this bolt-on fender, but there's that ultra heavy duty. Again, 5 lugs, kind of interesting. Now, I don't know if Divco made their own rear axles, but they probably sourced them from Clark or Rockwell or Spicer, but again, 5-ton model here. Again, gasoline on this one. There's the gas filler. They were also available as diesels, and although they were uncommon, Divco also made aluminum bodies to compete with the Grummans. And again, a Grumman aluminum van was about lightweight for fuel economy, but again, the buy-in of an aluminum body was probably 3 times what it was for a cheap steel body. But you could get a steel one, or an aluminum one if you wanted from Divco, but this is a basic steel-bodied version. Now here in the back, take a peek inside, and just a commodious cargo area. This one here packed full of all kinds of miscellaneous stuff. We can see the back of the driver's seat up there, and many of these can be folded so that the seat goes away and the driver can actually operate standing up. And the point of that was, if you were jumping out every 30 seconds to deliver newspapers or whatever, or milk, you didn't really want to get up and down off a seat. So again, this has the swiveling front seat up front. Now this was not air conditioned. This is just a cargo van, not really sure what it hauled at any point in time. Ford Bronco front fender, just miscellaneous junk here. Small block Chevy exhaust manifolds. And here's a 1957 fleet owner that I bought along. And inside of here, we see an ad for the Divco Model U on the left-hand side. You can see they all look the same. And that was the point. It says here, no yearly style changes, always a matched fleet, which really meant a lot because a lot of buyers of vans, you know, you didn't want to have an old Ford van or whatever delivering the milk. It's bad for business, I guess you might say. Make it look like you have used vehicles, like Ford vans, again, were often restyled from year to year, but Divco kept the same look pretty much from beginning to end. Now again, these are the Model U's, which emulated the Chrysler Airflow styling, as did the Dividend, which was the big brother to the Model U. But by 1956, or 86, excuse me, what about a 40-year run, 26 to 26 to 86, 40 years, 50 years. I was an English major. But anyway, Divco was done. They filed for bankruptcy. And again, it was a tough marketplace, as in the mid-1980s, competition from foreign vehicles, Iveco, et cetera, kind of put Divco out of business. But this one here being a 5-ton, 6-wheeler, again with these bolt-on rear fender extensions to cover the dualies, is a pretty rare bird. You know, and one thing too is the restoration of a vehicle like this can be quite expensive. So these covers, these wheel covers here, are probably quite a valuable thing. Now these are not adapted from like a Studebaker or a Dodge or a pickup truck application. Divco actually had to make these, and in some cases, you know, manufacturers will piggyback a Ford step-side fender and use it on some other vehicle. But these are from Divco, so finding these things today is nearly impossible. These are in great shape; they're not rusty. So there's some bits of this thing that might be useful to a person restoring a Divco Dividend van. So that's the story of the 5-ton Divco Dividend. Can't get inside, but it probably has a Ford 300 6-banger. That's what they kind of used as you get into the 60s. But if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the Steve Mag's YouTube channel. And to see a video on an international metro, go to the description of this video at the bottom. Click on that and you'll see this Divco Dividend van's fierce competitor, the international metro van, in another video. And of course, to see lots more videos, we'll just keep clicking away here at the Steve Mag's YouTube site, the Junkyard Crawl. More to come.